Hello everybody and welcome to this little taster lesson from the HashTag Hub Bootcamp. As I promised, I said I was going to do a short video about what SEO is, why it's important, and why emerging technologies and the development of new technologies means that it's just going to become more and more important. What is SEO? Well, simply, I'll answer that very, very quickly. That doesn't mean the video is going to be over. I'll just answer it really quickly. It's about building an online presence to draw an audience in and to make sure that your online audience is not being stolen by another competitor. Now, in this phrase, I'm really saying I'm talking about local businesses more than anything else. If you are a local business, I'm sure you've heard a lot of people talk about an SEO strategy. And they're probably talking about it in an essence where you might think, well, it doesn't really apply to me. That's more about a medium-sized business or a larger organization. I'm afraid that's not the case anymore, okay? Modern technology nowadays means people are making choices and decisions through the use of Google, through the use of Bing, and through the use of Facebook and Twitter. They're making choices about the products and the services that they buy and where they're purchasing them from. This doesn't just happen automatically. If you have a website, that's fantastic. But there's an old saying, build it and they will come. Doesn't happen anymore. Okay, might have done back in the early days of the internet. If you have a website, that doesn't automatically mean that you're going to get traffic, i.e. people coming to your website just like that. It doesn't just happen just because you've got a website. You need to have a strategy in place. You need to make sure that that website is appropriate for people to see and for search engines to understand. Okay, so I'm going to do a very quick demonstration here. I'm just going to put in coffee shops Southport. You can see I've already searched this before. Now this is a search engine results page. Okay, now because I've put in Southport in that query, in coffee shop Southport, okay, it's now only, Google's decided, right now I'm only going to pick up on coffee shops that are in the Southport area. So you can see things like TripAdvisor's up there, it's really high up. You can even see that that particular example there, right at the very top, great little place, is TripAdvisor, that's right at the very top, okay. From typing in coffee shop Southport, that particular business, okay, it's not their website, I'll come on to that in a second, but that particular business is right there in the top. It's not about websites anymore. Old SEO probably was, okay. For local businesses, certainly, it's about building an online presence, and that presence being prominent for everybody to see, okay. So that TripAdvisor, okay, you can see it's got 5-star ratings from 89 reviews, okay. That's a really strong online presence to have, and that's why it's so high up in the Google search engine rankings, okay. Why is that important? Because people nowadays, they're going out, they're picking up their smartphone if they need a cup of coffee, they're typing in coffee shop Southport to find out the nearest or the best place there is, and instantly people are drawn towards that result there. Are they going to scroll down and see these results? No, they've probably already found one and it's there. Are they going to go on to page 10 and find the results? No, okay. So just because you've got a website, just because you've got a Facebook or a Twitter or anything like that, doesn't mean that you have an online presence. It just means that you're on the web. So SEO is merely a series of strategies and a series of techniques, technical techniques, that mean that you build this online presence so it gets pushed up the rankings and people are more likely to see you. You can see for this example, a great little place, it's done it really well, okay. You can see here, this is a Google Maps listing, okay, and it's right at the very top, right at the very top of the Google Maps listing. Completely separately, it's got a TripAdvisor listing, it's right at the very top of the results, okay. Further down, it's got a Facebook page, again, it's got reviews, it's got votes, and it's really close to the top. Now, a person that's just a random person that's searching for coffee shop Southport will see this. It's listed 3 times. It's got a big online presence and it's got lots of reviews and things like that. I'm instantly going to think that must be a good place to go. Therefore, I'm going to go there. Now, I don't know the figures, but at a guess, I'd say because of that, it's getting a lot of traffic being driven to that Facebook page, that Google Maps listing, that TripAdvisor, and people are going to go there because they've searched on Google and they've found it. Okay, it has an online presence. They know it must be a good thing. And so basically that is what SEO is. Why is that important for local businesses? Well, if your competitor is doing it, okay, let's say you're another coffee shop in Southport and you have a coffee shop in Southport and a great little place there is dominating that top page, well, they are stealing your traffic. They are stealing the potential customers that you should have. So you need to be able to compete with what they're doing. And that's why it's so important to be implementing SEO strategies. That's why it's so important to make sure that your online presence is on the ball. So really, basically, from a local business standpoint, that is what SEO is, and that is why it's so important. During these series of lessons that we're going to do, on the HashTag Hub Bootcamp, we're going to cover different techniques and strategies that you can do, individually, so that you can build your online presence and you can have that you can see on your screen, that kind of presence for everybody to see. From simple key phrases that you would expect people to search for, coffee shops Southport. Okay, and that is it. If you have any questions, you have any queries regarding what I just covered, or you want me to explain something more in detail, perhaps I'm going to do a short video about the more technical elements, how Google, certainly I'll use Google as my main example, how Google decide where all these websites, why all these websites come up so near the top through something called the Google algorithm. I might do a video about that. If you want me to, send me a tweet or leave me a comment. It's at hub_hashtag and I'll be happy to do them. That's my little short taster video. If you want to find out more, go over to the HashTag Hub Bootcamp, sign yourself up, and we'll be able to cover more about that. Thank you very much for watching.